awake now. So as I was introduced, I'm Megan Abrams. I'm one of the IT Service Desk managers, and I'm co-presenting with Kurt Previs. He's also one of the Service Desk managers. There's two of us. We report to a senior manager, but as I go through the next slide, you'll understand the team structure as to why there's two of us. Okay. So the presentation will basically discuss why, how, and when the work from anywhere concept was introduced, and why we're using it, how we're using it, and the tools available to us to make this possible. Okay, so this is just a quote that I found very interesting and fit into the topic of discussion this morning. If you don't trust your employees to work remotely, you shouldn't have hired them in the first place, which is very true, and I think it's so fitting. Okay, so before I go into the details of the presentation, I just want to give you an overview of the IT Service Desk at UCT. Our support base is over 128,000 users, which includes staff, students, postgrads, alumni, etc. The composition of the team is the IT walk-in support center. So that is basically for all staff, students, any IT sort of queries will come into this IT center, and that's based on one of our campuses. We then have the inbound team, which services our inbound call center number. We have outbound, which attends to all outbound calls, follow-ups, etc. We also have the desk side support, which services on-site support calls. So if it's not resolved inbound, outbound, it will go to the on-site or desk side support team. We also have our installations, workshop, collections, and deliveries. And basically all our hardware that is purchased from our suppliers is set up in the installations team. Whatever failures, hardware related, will come into the workshop for repairs, whether it's in warranty or out of warranty. And obviously collections and deliveries is pick up and drop off IT equipment. We also have a research and development team. This is a very interesting team though. It's not your usual research and development, but we basically test all new software packages within this team. For example, Windows 10 at this point in time, we're busy testing 1703, we're going to be rolling out 1602. We do the patch testing before campus release in this team, and whatever complex issues that is not resolved inbound, outbound, on-site will be researched within research and development. And interestingly enough, we also have the UCT switchboard as part of our team. Yeah, so that is basically the team composition of the IT Service Desk. Okay, and there's just a nice picture of the entire team. It has shrunk a bit. So there is faces there that's no longer with us, unfortunately, and that's due to austerity measures and voluntary separations, etc. But the team, that's most of them. Okay, so why work from anywhere? Our executive director, as you know, Sakkie Jansen van Rensburg, introduced this in, I think, 2014. He set this goal for the IT Service Desk to basically try and come up with the tools, systems, etc., to be able to operate from anywhere. You saw the team composition. It's inbound, outbound, on-site, etc. So you can imagine this will only apply to your inbound, outbound teams. It cannot be applied to on-site or anything, or the other teams. Research and development, yes. Even the UCT switchboard, yes. We've piloted that. So from 2014 to 2017, it took us a while to get here. And as you know, with any new innovation or idea, like we're in the AI world now, it's an idea, but we're not necessarily ready yet to take the step, so it took a long time for us to get where we are now. So the main driver for working from anywhere was basically business continuity, and we all know that business continuity is to ensure that business will run efficiently and effectively should there be any sort of disruption. The next driver was also that UCT staff became more mobile. We realized that, and we could actually see the stats and figures, that they were purchasing more laptops versus desktops, so they were working off campus, and that's primarily because all our systems are now cloud-based. They can access the email, they can access most line of business applications from anywhere. And in order for us as an IT service desk department, we had to ensure that we could also do the same with our systems in case we need to move off campus. Just before I get here, In 2015 was our first pilot when Fees Must Fall happened. We were not prepared at all, same as CBUT said that it was an unexpected event for everybody. So 2015 was the kind of go live of the concept without any proper plan in place. However, because of our team, and I must say we had certain policies and procedures, our knowledge management was up to scratch, we could pull it off. But in order to get there, in terms of working anyway, you need these building blocks. So your systems has to be up to scratch, it has to be cloud-based, because if it's hosted on campus, it's not going to work from anywhere. Policies and procedures also has to be up to date, up to scratch. You need your staff members has to know what is expected of them, when and how. And then the most important thing in my mind is knowledge management. And this was our point of discussion last year. So knowledge management is basically acquiring the knowledge, disseminating the knowledge, and then obviously the upkeep thereof, and the various systems for that. With the service desk, we try and use the PDCA cycle, which is the Deming model of continuous improvement. So with this concept of work from anywhere, we obviously had to plan. In the doing phase, we had to see whether it works or not. And there we had to determine whether or not it will work for all. We know it won't work for all teams, but it also won't work for all staff. I think I'm one of those people that would probably work from anywhere once a week. The rest of it, I need interaction with others. The check phase is where we measured whether or not productivity was actually improved or if it was affected, and Kurt will go into more detail with the stats on that one. And then just the acting phase would be any improvements if required. Okay, so here's just a short video of one of our staff members illustrating the concept. Okay, I hope that was believable. Okay, so now I'm going to hand over to Kurt that's going to go into more detail about the tools that we've used and how we got there. So thank you. Oops.
Hi everybody. Wow, that's loud. We tested it earlier and it wasn't that loud, so I can keep the mic a bit further away. I know that was probably one of the crappiest songs that you've ever heard. But the good news is it's copyright free. Okay, so I'll be discussing the systems and tools and how we actually got here. When I got there, everything was on-premise, client-based, and phones were desk-based. In 2012, a brilliant man, you might know him as Saki van Rensburg, had an idea about cloud strategy. So this came out due to bandwidth becoming freely available, and yeah. So, the first one that I'm going to speak about is Skype for Business. Okay, so we started moving away from standard PABX services, and we changed our communicator to Microsoft Link. It gave us instant messaging, PC-to-PC calls, and you could attach a telephone number to the account as well, so you'd be able to make calls from anywhere. This would mean that a standard desktop phone now became mobile, with no extra charges to the user, and it's all based in a client downloaded on your PC, cell phone, or on a tablet. Recently, Link has upgraded to Skype for Business. The next one is IPCM. In 2011, which is the beginning of the time for my career at UCT, calls were distributed by a hunting group to our consultants. And in 2012, we implemented IPCM, which is an IP-based telephone system. What this meant for our customers was to finally be able to hear hold music while waiting for a consultant to answer their calls. But what this meant for my team was more accurate call volume tracking, faster response times due to visible queues, and accurate consultant stats. Last year in 2016, IPCM received an update which made it possible for a consultant with an internet connection to log into the software from the client installed on a laptop or PC. So if anybody knows UCT, you know that we were once upon a time a big fan of heat. So it's almost like a dreaded word. Heat is definitely a dreaded word. Let me just discuss that and just go through this. Okay, so let's continue. So in 2011, we used a client called Heat for ticket management, and it was on-premise. It was old, very old. But in 2012, we looked for an alternative cloud-based solution. And again, this came about because of that lovely strategy. So at the end of 2013, we implemented ServiceNow, which is the core management tool we use. It's cloud-based, access from anywhere as long as you've got an internet connection, and it's quite secure as well. When we did that, we took a look at something that, a remote desktop tool that we'll be able to integrate into ServiceNow. So what we did was, we were using ZenWorks, a remote desktop tool, for remote troubleshooting. But there's a problem with using that, is that it requires a Zen agent and Novell to be installed for the tool to work. So when your customers had things like tablets that didn't have Novell or ZenWorks, or if they have MacBooks, or there's a problem on their cell phone, they are not able to actually use the remote desktop tool. So we moved over to BombGuard, which gave us I think we started looking at it in about 2013 or 2014. And it gave us the capability of remoting onto your cell phone if you had any problems. And as long as you had an internet connection, everything was cool. So this is currently housed on-premise, but can be moved into the cloud when we need to. And you can still use it from anywhere, though. Cool. The last one is our communication channels that we use. So that was WhatsApp. We chose WhatsApp because, well, basically you can use it from anywhere. Our consultants are not always going to be on Skype for Business. They're not always going to be waiting for us to send them a message. So we chose WhatsApp so that it's more user-friendly. It's something that you're all used to. And what we do with that is we use it for official communications as well as a social group for our consultants as well. So we feed through key points of information to them as well as provide a discussion group for problems that they are having. And since we are not all work and no play, we have the social group where we can discuss things like memes and jokes and can make fun and poke fun at people, or, well, not people, but individuals. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is the use cases, because we've actually trialed this like a few times. That first slide there is just basically my team structure. That's me on top. And then I've got about 3 consultants, senior consultants within the team that manages a smaller team below them. So each person below me manages their own team, and each team is an area of UCT's greater campus. So we're looking at lower campus, middle campus, health sciences campus, and all the other sites in between. Okay, so this is just a slide of call volumes that is received within one particular team. In this case, it's health campuses, and it shows the calls received by the team on a month-to-month basis from 2016. So that's since average. What do you guys think? Yeah, looks about good. Right. So the next one. This is where it gets interesting. So this is a consultant that was working at home for about 3 months, right? It's just a standard outbound consultant that just calls customers back for extensive troubleshooting and calls that cannot be resolved on first contact. So he spent the time at home from February until May. If the previous slide was not impressive, this is a comparison of consultant A, the green, with 3 other consultants doing the exact same job. But he was at home while they were sitting in the office doing the work. So there's no numbers over there. And you can take a look and you can see that from April, May, is it April? Yeah, April, May, and June, he outperformed all the other consultants that was currently there. I know March looks a bit bad, but he took leave at that time. So, yeah, I don't know, I was disappointed in him. this is the current consultant that is busy dealing with which is busy doing the work at home thing right now. He's a senior consultant who actually manages the team. So he's responsible for doing the work as consultant A, but he has to deal with more complex calls, our VIP calls, as well as call distribution within the team. So he needs to rearrange it right now. So this has been for the last 2 weeks that you can see. And from the second last number there, I think it's the 12th of June, you can actually see a major increase in the work that is output. So, like a work-at-home consultant it's basically individual-based per person. The type of person that will be able to work at home, like Megan said, she'll only be able to do that once a week, maybe. I don't think I'll ever be able to do that because I like interacting with people and I like face-to-face contact. So, next one is the benefits and the challenges. Benefits, definitely work-life balance, higher productivity, as you can see from the stats that we showed. There's money saving for the consultants as well because they don't have to worry about traveling. They can chill at home. They might have a bigger budget for buying food now, ordering in, so Mr. Delivery can make some more money. And then obviously, the very last one, pajamas. Who feels like getting out of the pajamas in the morning, especially in winter? And then the challenges. There's always going to be challenges. So the reason we created the social group within WhatsApp is the possibility for isolation. Because, I mean, you're alone in a room away from everybody else. You can't get to a point where you feel like nobody's listening to me, nobody's talking to me, those kind of things. There's 2 things that we did to try to alleviate that is, number 1, the WhatsApp social group. And then on a Thursday, every Thursday, we have a training or information session, or we have just a general meeting for our consultants, or we'll just have a braai, we'll just make boerewors rolls. So it's the last hour of the day, and everybody's invited to come and join. You've also got the possibilities of distractions. So you're sitting at home, buddy sends you a message via WhatsApp, and he's like, oh, you're at home? Okay, I'm coming now. And then you end up in a conversation where things are like out of control, distraction, you're busy crying, and you forget to continue, you just completely forget about work. Okay, so the option is only available to staff with internet access. Yeah, unfortunately, there's no magic as of yet where you just can connect automatically. So you need to have internet access, but it's not only just one point of internet access. You need to have an ADSL or a VDSL, as well as a backup like an LTE or a 3G card. Yeah, and I've been told I need to finish off now. So IPCM has limited support in SA, so it's one of the reasons why we're looking at moving away from IPCM and getting something that is also cloud-based. Let's see, the way forward. For now, the work-at-home concept will only be used for business continuity. The pilot will continue with inbound consultants as well as the UCT switchboard, investigation to replace the current telephonic system, like I mentioned, and a fuller usage of BOMGAR. Because BOMGAR it doesn't have any restrictions as to what you can do. I mean, imagine controlling somebody's cell phone. I think that's a pretty good tool. So we're trying to move over to go all the way to just using BOMGAR completely. It also fully integrates into ServiceNow, so you can start a BOMGAR session while you have a ticket open from a customer, and if I'm correct, but please don't shoot me, you're able to add that recording of the whole session into the service ticket as well. So don't shoot me if I'm wrong. And yeah, there's 2 email addresses at the bottom that you can see over there. So if there's any questions that I cannot answer right now, please do mail it to me, and I'll get the right people in the room for a Skype session, meeting, and yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much to Kurt and Megan from UCT. We can take a couple of questions.
I'm just wondering, when you used BOMGAR, how did it compare to the other platforms that is actually available in terms of cost? How did you actually, because I know it's quite expensive. And the second one is with regards to your team that you shared the stats on the 800 calls. How many consultants did you have in that specific team?
I'm going to speak about the team. because the cost of BOMGO, I'll set up a meeting for you, and you can speak to the right people about that. So the team that we will speak about in particular has got 4 consultants in total, including the senior consultant. So yeah, and that includes doing on-site visits to a customer's desk, and then we've got 3 people doing just outbound callbacks at any given time.
Thank you.
No worries.
Possibly one more question.
Good morning, guys, and
Hello.
guy and lady. So you moved over from Heat to ServiceNow. We're not going to talk cash because we know ServiceNow is not cheap. Are you happy?
Yes.
Why?
It's kind of like you have to look at as there's ITIL. So ServiceNow is based on, it's got an ITIL basing to it. So it's easier for us to report on things as well compared to what we did previously. Yeah, it's the access from anywhere is also it's a bonus, and also you get my vision or what I envision for the help desk with receiving a tool is an all-in-one. A multi-channel tool that can do everything, and everything is all in one place, and ServiceNow actually has that capability. So for great coaching, you will take a look at, like I said, the BOMGO call recording. There's a voice recording that can be added to that as well, and the service ticket number. So it depends on what you want from the system, but like I said, for coaching, awesome experience. For the customer, awesome experience. I mean, our customers get feedback within 30 minutes that an incident has been logged. And once my consultant updates the call, the customer gets an update within 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes.
Are you on Express or on Enterprise?
I think we're on Enterprise.
We could do another question.
Sure. It depends on what he's going to ask.
Hi, just a quick one. You mentioned your staff obviously need to have either ADSL or some sort of connectivity at home and 3G and a backup. With your staff obviously not having to travel, do they have to fund that, or do you fund that part of the bill?
Okay, so at the moment they're funding the internet access, and as I said, it depends on the individual. So if they by the means and they want to take part of the pilot program, they're welcome to do so, but they pay for their own internet, yeah.
It's generally, for now, it's just a give and take. You want to stay at home? Well, you're going to have to give us something, besides the work, of course.
Thank you, Team UCT.
Thank you so much.
To those that have just come in, welcome to the Service Desk stream. Our next presentation is by Cassius, who is from Vaal University, who will tell us about their experiences at VUT.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kesha Sarasaruti. I'm here representing the Vaal University of Technology, which I'm working in as an IT technician. I'm here to present to you the Vaal University of Technology Service Desk System. Here is some of the points that I will be presenting to you. First thing, we have to know what is a Service Desk Plus. Service Desk Plus is a joint system which has been developed by Manage Engine that provides help desk agents, IT technicians, and managers to easily monitor and maintain IT requests generated from users of IT resources in Vaal University of Technology. But at other point, it's not only used by a service department. At other point, it's not only used by IT services department. There are some other departments that are also using it. For example, a logistic department in Vaal University of Technology, they are also using it. And it provides some reports There are some built-in reports. A user can query reports that he or she wants. He or she can customize the report that she or he wants. Before we went to the Service Desk Plus, there was a system that we were using, which was called Service Wiz, which was internally developed by developers in Valley University of Technology. But we had to move to the new system because the old system had no dashboard. It can't produce reports. For you to create or develop, to pull out the reports, it's a very long process. And it is, you have to manually assign a request to technicians. In that way, if, like, for instance, if there is a client who is calling, looking for help, you have to, help desk agents have to go around and look for available technicians. So that's where we ended up looking for another system, which is Manage Engine Service Desk Plus. It's easy to customize. Our developers, they can easily maintain it, and it's user-friendly. Everyone can use it. Even our clients, some of them, they do request, they do use self-service so that they can create their own request. And it produces nice reports. As I've said, there are built-in reports. And it also have a schedule for reports. For instance, if your boss want this specific report every last day of the month, then we can create it so that the boss will receive that specific report on that specific day. And before we move to Service Desk Plus, we had other systems that we have reviewed. Other one is GLPI. The other one is Microsoft Service Manager, which is part of SCCM. Then we have looked to all of them, checked all the features. That's why we ended up choosing Service Desk because we saw it as it's supporting most of the features that we were looking for. How does Service Desk work? First thing, you have to log in. Logging in, use your AS. We have integrated it to our Active Directory. So for you to log in, you have to use your Active Directory username and password. Then we have a home page. Home page is where a user can see overdue requests that are due today, pending request, and it also have announcement. On the announcements, for instance, if maybe network will be down for the next 2 days, or maybe emails are not working for the whole campus, then we can put a note on announcement so that every user will be able to see what's going to happen in that day. Also on homepage, we have scheduler. If a technician will be on leave for the specific day, he can go to the scheduler, apply for the leave, and also after applying, he or she can choose a backup technician. You go to backup technician, that's where you see all list of all VUT technicians, then you can choose anyone who will be backing up when you are on leave. And after applying for a leave, all other technicians will automatically receive notification that a specific technician is not in today. Then we have dashboard. On dashboard is where you can, it's sort of reports where you can like request by, it's either technician category, level, priority, and on request summary, if maybe you want to see your overdue inbound completed request, maybe for this week, last week, this month, or last month. Then we have these graphs. It's where you can see your open request, in terms of level, priority, mode, or category. An SLA violation by priority, level, mode, or category. Then we have a request. Here is where, if maybe a user walks into the office, user can call a help desk agent, or user can email the help desk agent. So if he or she is in need of help from IT services, this is the form where we will be capturing the information for that line so that we can create a ticket for him or her. And it's customizable. As I said earlier, that even the logistics department is using it, they can also put their own template that will be for information that they needed on their own business rules. After creating a request, a user, a client will automatically receive an email that telling him or her that your request has been created. This is the technician that will be assisting you, and also it will give you a link that you can follow. If you follow the link, it will automatically open the service desk where you can see the ticket. All the information will be there. At the same time, a technician that request have been placed to, he or she will also receive an email that telling him that you have a request that has been assigned to you. It gives you the information, the location. And here, for instance, a technician have many requests, and at that moment is still busy with some other request. Then came another emergency request. That's why service desk agents can manually reassign the call to another technician. Request list view. This is where you can see all your opens, closed, resolve, and on hold requests. But you can filter them according to the filter drop-down menu on what types of calls do you want to see. Then we have add notes. Maybe I've made the appointment with a client. He or she said I must come after 5 hours. I can also update the state of the request by putting in the note. Then after putting a note, automatically the user will receive an email that me and him or her, we have set appointment on a specific time. Then we have resolution. On resolution, after assisting a user, after assisting a client, this is where you can put all the steps that you have done to resolve the problem that you had, anything that you did to help the user. Then, after closing a request, a user will receive another email that telling him or her that your request has been closed, have been solved. If maybe a technician closed it without help assisting the technician, assisting a client, then a client is free to come to IT services and complain that I did place a request, but I didn't get help, but I'm getting notification that I've been helped. And on the other hand, she will also receive an email with a link where she can rate the service he or she got from the technician. This is the page where a client can rate the service that he or she got from a technician. It is also customizable. It will depend on what you want to rate your technician with. Then we have solutions. This is a knowledge base. If maybe I made this other problem and was being solved before, I can go to solutions and look for the solution for the request that I have that I can resolve. And also, if I have a new problem that I met along the way, and I've never heard of anyone saying about it, or I can't find a solution on each solution on solutions, then I can also add that solution to the solutions. On conclusion, Service Desk Plus was being helpful for us in terms of notifications. Even if I'm busy, even if I'm out campus, I can still get notification that I have a request that have been placed to me. It's customizable. It doesn't give our developers tough time. In terms of reports, you get the report that you want, and it's accessible anyway. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Cassius. Do we have any questions that we can pose? Maybe let's start on this end, and I'll work my way around.
Hi, how are you?
How's it?
All right. I wanna ask about the homepage section.
Okay.
You were mentioning that if a technician goes on leave, they can do the application. Is it the applications are still done on the same system?
It's also done on.
When the technician goes on leave,
Yes.
that application there, is it filled on the same system?
Yes. But you have to, the process of applying leave in VUT, you apply on ITS. Then after your leave has been approved, then you can go to Service Desk. You can apply it on a Service Desk while you are not approved.
Okay, so what does that feature add? The one on the Service Desk. Let me say, okay, let's say I go on leave and then I put it there on Service Desk.
Yes.
So is it possible that they can mistakenly assign a call to me while I'm on leave on the system?
For you to go to Service Desk and apply for your leave, that's the reason why.
No, I'm not. I'm saying, let's say there's already a technician that is on leave already, and that information is already there. That says technician A is already on leave on the system, but then can they still assign a call to him when he's not there?
No.
It will automatically tell you that
they will be having notifications that this specific technician is not in today via emails. That's where you can get a now I understand your question. If a call is assigned to you and you are on leave, you have chosen a backup technician, it will automatically go straight to the backup technician.
Okay, no, thank you. That's what I needed to say.
Sure.
Thanks.
Any other questions on this section before we make the great trek to the other side? No.
Good morning.
Morning.
I think one of my questions was more similar to his question, as in, is the system on scheduler, is it integrated with your HR system where you apply leave? But I guess that I'm answered.
Okay.
And then I also want to know, can the system be integrated with any other system? For an example, your assets, are you able to see all the assets of the user on that particular system? Are you also able to see any other system that can be linked to your system? For an example, if I'm logging an incident, am I able to pick up users' information automatically?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then your knowledge base, is it visible to the customer? Like for an example, before I contact you, am I able to search for solutions and try to assist myself?
No.
Okay. On the last one, if a user rejects a ticket, I think you spoke about it. Can I reject a ticket without consulting you? Can I just click somewhere to say, I'm rejecting this ticket, I'm not satisfied, then it goes back to your queue? Is it possible? Or if I'm not satisfied with the service, the only way to get back to you is for me to contact you?
If
telephonically or via email? if I'm not satisfied?
Yeah, you can contact me telephonically or via email.
Yeah, but can I reject it? Can I reject that ticket on the spot?
Yes, you can reject it.
Does it have an icon to reject? Or if I reject, it's for me to reply on that email that I got. I just want to understand the system.
So
You can't reject.
sorry, my sister.
You
Like
can't. Okay.
some of the questions, my sister, maybe I'll leave you the email, then you can send me, then we can,
Okay.
I'll give you specific answers.
Okay, thanks.
Because I'm not using, like, I'm a technician, like
Okay.
on the users, sometimes there are some of the things, maybe I don't check them most of the time, you see.
Okay.
Yeah.
The one last.
Yes.
Does it have a catalog of services which a user can choose from their side?
A catalog of services.
Yes.
Like
The service
if-
catalog where maybe I don't need your assistance, I can just select there from the menu to say I want a mouse or I want a printer or I want access to something. I just click at the click of a button, then it goes to you as a technician or it goes to whoever that's dealing with procurement. Does it have such a service?
it have an option where maybe if your ITS is not working, you can click on my ITS is not working. Like we have categorized.
Already on the user side?
Yes. We have categorized the problems that we have. If maybe you come with a new problem, then we will place it on that categories.
And
Like
then I can select on your menu?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so you showed a form of how the client would log an IT or whatever your service is called. How much of that form is already listed or set up for that user to not enter every field? Or does he have to manually, from start, do the whole form before submitting that ticket?
You have to?
That form, how much of that form is already filled in for the user or has some kind of classification that you can select? And how much does the user need to do before that request can be submitted?
The user before, you have to log in. Then you have to go to create the request. On that form, there is that small icon. It's where you can choose. You click there. You put in your staff number, say name, email, whatever. Then it will automatically pop up your information, your name, your department. Then there are some other fields where you can fill them yourself.
So you don't have to fill in everything. The system will propagate some of it automatically.
Yeah, some of the things the system will pop
Thanks.
up.
Thank you. Is there another question?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Cassius. Our next presentation is scheduled for 11:30, so we do have a few minutes before we start. We're trying to be very exact with time because of the different streams that are taking place. So we do have a few minutes while Hendrik sets up, so just bear with us, please. Yeah, let's just wait a few minutes. People may be moving between streams.
Hmm?
I wanted to demonstrate the
Yeah, I just like to know, is there internet on that machine? Is it? Okay. Thanks.
In terms of the speed, because we're on the wireless.
All right, no, that's
You can
fine.
give it a try.
Thanks, Ken. Sorry. Is that thing working? Yes. All right. Wonderful. And the pointers in the center. Okay. Great.
It's almost about 11:30, the start of our next presentation. Maybe we can just start an introduction in the meantime. Our next presenter is Heinrich, and he's from SMU, and he's going to give us their version of the service desk.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I'm Hendrik. Everybody on campus knows me as Hana, because that's a lot easier to pronounce rather than my name. My name is Henrian. I will be presenting today to you the Service Desk principles with Service Desk Plus. Pretty much what I need to do now is I need to recuperate because the previous guy pretty much ran through the whole system. I'm not going to run through the whole system with you, but I'm just going to give you a basic overview and then we're going to discuss the principles regarding the system. So let's quickly just take a look at the agenda. At first, we're going to take a look at the Service Desk Plus overview. I'm going to give you an overview of what the system does and how it works. Then the SMU implementation that we did at our campus. And then the SMU utilization, how we utilize it on our campus. And then we're going to discuss 7 Service Desk principles, as well as 5 other effective Service Desk principles. All right, so the first thing we're going to take a look up is Service Desk Plus, the overview of the system. As you can see, the logos there over there. A lot of big businesses are using this application. It's being manufactured by the Zoho Corporation, actually Manage Engine. If you're familiar with Zoho.com, you would understand the whole system or the engine on which the system is being built on. All right, so the system caters for incident, problem, project, and change management modules. It also has got a service catalog in, as the previous lady asked if it has a service catalog. Yes, it does have a service catalog that you pre-populate with the services that your department or your department is facilitating with. It's got a configuration management database, a service level agreements, business rules, and surveys, which is automatically populated into the system. Self-service portal with a knowledge base, and an asset management module with software licenses, contract and purchase, and order management. So basically what I'm trying to say is this is a small ERP system for ICT department. So if you're trying to run your department with everything electronically, instead of having a lot of files or papers lying around, people running around and talking with each other, this consolidates everything into one place that you want to go into. Okay, so let's take a look quickly at the SMU implementation. SMU effectively implemented the Service Desk Plus in 2015 when we demerged from the University of Limpopo into the new institution. We started to be called the Sefako Makgatho Health Sciences University, so that's when we started with it. At first, we only used the incident module we used because the other things we needed to find out and clarify and do a little bit of better inspection into how to implement it into our institution. Training commenced for all ICT staff on a weekly basis every Friday. So every Friday our staff members would take off and they would come to the classroom, and we actually explained to them how to use the system. So the uptake was pretty good, and everybody started to seeing the benefits of the configurations. Some configurations took months to implement according to business rules and SLAs. Because we're a new institution, our service level agreements and our business rules and everything needs to be approved first by Senate and moved down. And so we were not sure exactly how to implement the service level agreements as well as the business rules into the system. It's still not perfect, but a better understanding has been achieved. So the utilization, SMU is not fully utilizing the system currently at its peak because it's got a lot of capabilities, but we are not fully utilizing it as is. And we are implementing new models, and the processes and procedures that goes with the implementation, we move along as we implement the new modules. So you have to give me some gap here. I'm not used to in presenting, so that might give you an indication of what's going on. Okay, it is a gradual and slow process, but with each implementation, a module results can be immediately seen. Here is a little overview. I'm just going to click on it. So I'm just going to show you our system, but I'm not going to bore you to death with it. I just want to show you exactly what type of functionality you get out of the system and what works for us. This is basically your login page where you log in from. Hopefully the internet is fast enough over here. Okay, no, don't worry. I'll just quickly copy duplicate these. All right, so this is pretty much what you've got over here. You've got your modules on the top over there. You've got your home, your dashboard, requests, problems, changes, project module, solutions module, asset module, configuration management database, a purchase order module, and a contract management module, reports, and community. As you can see over here, this is pretty much my dashboard that I've got over here. I've got two approvals that I need to take action with, which I click on, and I can either deny them or either approve the application for that. There's a summary of the request that's overdue that's been assigned to me. There's my little task bar. So every day my task will be automatically populated into the task bar if a project is running and I've got certain tasks that I need to do in the project. Okay, to give you an overview of the dashboard, okay, just another thing, we've got a quick create over here that would actually answer your question in terms of the auto population for that. So for instance, if I've got an end user, I can just start, it's already linked with the Active Directory, so it pulls all the information from there, so I can just populate it from over there, put in the request title, say system not working, and then it will actually, I can just save it over there and it will automatically populate. It will mail that end user currently now, so I'll be probably having a call right now, so just don't worry about that. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to take a look at is quickly the problems module that we've got over there. For problem management on campus, this is an ITIL-based system, so you can log into, you can fit it into your organization and base it on the ITIL principles that you've got. So you'll see there's a couple of problems we have on campus. Since we've implemented the problem module, it's really giving us a quick overview of what's going on campus. In terms of the technicians don't have to shout at other technicians saying, listen guys, the clinical pathology building is down, or the server is down. We all log it onto the problem. The problems get communicated onto the self-service portal for the end users as well. They would be able to see there if they log on to it, unless their network is down, they would be able to see what current problems are running within the ICT department in terms of the problems that we are experiencing. So next thing, we haven't implemented the change management module as yet and fully. This is, like I said, a little ERP system. So if you've got a change, if a server needs to be updated, you put the change up there, it goes to the HOD, it goes to the superior or the managing person. That person can approve it, and the change will then be reflected and communicated on the self-service portal as well as it's supposed to be. All right, and then you've got the project module. Currently, our project management office are being set up, or it's already set up, but we haven't aligned ourselves with the vision or mission with the project management office, so we don't know in what terms, what methodologies we are going to use. So we haven't started using the project management module currently, but you can import your Microsoft Office projects into this and then assign everybody. You can have a Gantt view. It's almost like Microsoft Project. You can have a Gantt view of the whole project and the overview, and the task then just filters down onto the task, onto your dashboard that you've got. Then we've got solutions. The solutions, our solutions is not really populated as thoroughly as the previous guys, but these solutions then goes into the knowledge base where the end users got their own dashboard where they log into. They can search for knowledge depending on your culture from your organization. So if, let's say for instance, in our organization we like to hit the power button 7 times before we restart the machine, we would essentially put in that information into the knowledge base, and the knowledge base solutions get approved. Once it's approved, it moves onto the solution database, and from there on you would be able to resolve the problem before contacting the ICT department in that. Then we've got the asset module. The asset module is quite nice module. It scans all your machines. We are currently not using it right now. As you can see there, we've got 850 problems that we need to troubleshoot. But it scans your machines in terms for basic software that's been installed, when it's last patched, how many Windows 7 machines, how many Windows 10 machines you've got on campus, those type of things, so you would be able to manage it from there. I need to assess, however, that there's a software management plugin for the thing over here as well, so you can do your license agreements. If you've got license agreements, you populate the system over there. Your software licenses, you can populate your software licenses as well there. It will scan your network automatically, saying that this amount of machines is under licensed, or these amount of machines has been over licensed. It keeps you up to date with communication in terms of how it is working. The configuration management database, for those who are familiar with that, this is pretty much the map of your whole ICT structure on campus, how it's being populated, how it's connected to each other. So if I were to click on the ICT department, I would see which staff members are connected to the ICT department, what computers, what servers, and how the whole things are configured in together. It takes quite a while to complete that, but once it's done, it will be definitely beneficial for your organization. Like I said, Manage Engine is not sending me a check, so I'm not trying to sell the product to you. I'm just saying this thing is really working for us. Okay, the purchase management module that we've got here, you can integrate it if you've got consumables, if you've got any type of services that you are selling within the ICT department, you would be able to put through here and do your own audits on terms of stock going in, stock going out. All right, and then you've got your contract management, and that's pretty much self-explanatory. Your reports is quite thoroughly and it's in depth. You can pull any type of report that you need to pull, as you can see to the right end. Reports by SA, violated request, summary reports, etc., etc., etc. So I'm not going to go into detail with those. And then, of course, you've got your community support. If you want additional functions to the application, they would actually cater it to you and program it for you so that you would be able to do it or cater it according to your business. Yes. So yes, that is. Yeah. So, all right, we've got a little break now. Because I do know that I tend to talk on the same tone, so please bear with me. In any case, so we're going to discuss the 7 service desk principles that I feel that as a community for ourselves, we are working together in a university environment. We do know our professors, we know our academic staff, we know how to work with them, but I do feel that the following 7 principles will be beneficial if we actually follow them the way we're supposed to follow them. It's nothing new for you guys. I know if I'm going to say something to you, you're going to say, yeah, but we know this. But the thing is, or the fact is, are you supporting your team as you're supposed to? Support end users as a team, which is important. I think really that we can actually start a communication channel open with this, because a player would know that he's playing a good game, but is the team winning? He won't be able to know. So that it's important that our service desk teams work together and progress together to work as a team. Listen to end user and relay feedback. Whenever you get to an end user, make sure that the end user, whatever they are saying, you're jotting it down or noting it down so that you would be able to give a feedback on the end, at the end of the week at the departmental meeting, because what the end users are saying is pretty much what is floating around within the organization, the view that they've got of your organization. Because the ICT service desk is the face of the ICT department, you need to know and need to know what's going on with your people. If you're not in touch with your people, it doesn't make sense at all to try and support them with technologies that they don't understand if you don't get the feedback, if they don't understand it. Don't be a robot, don't be like me right now. I'm just keeping on blabbling all types of things out now. Make sure that you're making it a little bit more personal. Make sure that you're actually just talking with the people as people. How was the weather? What is the sport like? Where were you last night? How many cocktails did you drink? Did you fall over? Hopefully not, because your boss was there. You know, those type of things, which is important. And be honest about what you don't know. I mean, we all want to be the best or the top, but be honest about what you don't know. So if you don't know anything relevant, particularly to a thing, say to the person that you'll get back to them, or you circle back to them that you'll get the relevant support or the information to them. If you're honest about it, you make it a more humanable experience. The more human the experience is, the better it is for you to understand your crowd, and your crowd will understand you. If it does make sense right now, what I'm saying. And practice empathy. Empathy is important things, to know your services. Those two are also very important. So what I forgot now to do is, actually I went into depth with each one of these slides. Yeah, I actually started talking about it before I wanted to put everything up there. Okay, so support end users as a team. End user service is a team sport and not just a service support team. Train every employee on your helpdesk software so they can call in and pitch in when times are busy. Now this is a crucial thing that you need to understand. This is the thing that if everybody understands the system and communication is transparent within the department, everybody would be able to discuss their ideas with each other without fear of being isolated. Once the team or the persons don't feel isolated, you actually will move forward as a team and you are playing as a team member. All right. Sure, you'll want to pass highly technical cases to the experts, but everyone needs to be able to help out. So if there's a network engineer, he shouldn't say, no, I'm a network engineer, I can't help you in that. He should rather refer you to the right person. Play a team sport, play a team game. That's the important principle within the service desk. Successful support sections can tell you that when everybody spends time on the front lines, it's easier to stay aligned around customers and maintain service levels when things get busy. All right, so if everybody is at the front line and everybody is just spending, let's say for half a day you're spending time with the service desk guys, with the guys who's picking up the phones, you'll get a better understanding of your organization. Maybe you'll get a couple of ideas or new innovation that you want to try to implement into the thing to make it easier, not only for your own guys, but for the end users as well. All right, then listen to end users' relay and feedback. Encourage service agents to ask questions when interacting with end users. The more your agents know about you and your end users, the needs and their needs, the more the assets of those agents, both your company and you, both they are assets for your company and your end users. Okay, so your service support team can also be an amazing source of service technology innovation, as I said previously. Some successful service support sections have a customer support team present customer feedback at every departmental meeting. So pretty much if at the end of the week or the end of the month you get together, you sit around and you talk about the customer feedback, you'll get a more in-depth view of what is really coming along. So I would be able to say, no, this is a good conference, but if I listen to everybody's feedback about what everybody else is saying, I'm getting a clear more view about what is going on within the organization. So that's just what I'm trying to say there. Don't be a robot. 75% of end users believe it takes too long to reach a live agent, and no one likes talking to a robot. So show your end users you aren't a machine. Encourage agents to add personality to their emails. Now that's the important thing as well, because how was your day today? Did you think about life? Did you think about the star that was shining outside when we walked out of the building? It's a star, not a sun. You know, think outside of the box. You know, interact with your people. That is quite an important part of life. Or fill the quiet time when they need to pull up account information by asking end users how the weather is or who their favorite sport teams are. Basically anything that adds a personal, friendly face to your support operations. All right, be honest about what you don't know. All right, nobody likes a know-it-all, especially a know-it-all that doesn't actually know it all. All right, so we are human beings. I mean, we are humans. So let's try and support each other rather than scrutinizing each other. If your agents aren't sure how to troubleshoot a problem, it's okay for them to let the end users know that they'll get in touch with the right person and circle back when they have an answer. That would be the correct procedure to follow. Maintain an open dialogue with the customers and keep them informed at all times. It'll earn your customers' respect and commitment. All right, practice empathy. Empathy is an important thing as well. I know it sounds like a sissy type of thing to do, but at the end of the day, if you practice empathy with people, they will start to empathize with you as well and understand your situation as well. A service support section cannot be successful with a culture of apathy. Your service agents especially must master the lost art of empathy to deliver effective end-user services. Ask agents to put themselves in the shoes of the end user when working on a case. Well, that's quite an important thing because it's got a ripple down effect, pretty much. If you don't put yourself in an end user's shoes, you don't know the professor is late for the next lecture, which is going to make the next lecture a little bit later, and which has got a ripple effect onto that. So once you put yourself into the shoes, you would be able to understand the problem a little bit more and the severity of the problem, which will make it a lot easier for you to gauge what problems, how to prioritize problems, what problems will be important, what problems will not be important. All right, know your services. The more your end user support knows about your services, they'll be better at providing it. Make training a key part of your end user support operation. Some department onboard every new employee with 1 week service boot camp to ensure all they know the services inside and out. Now all the services that we've got, I mean, we've got Wi-Fi services, but do the network guy or the security officer know how the Wi-Fi services is working? If he does not know that, you need to onboard him with a boot camp in terms of what services we are providing and how we're providing it. Because if somebody asks him, he would be able to understand, put one and one together and say, all right, we've got a wireless system that's working on campus on the outsides, let's say, of the Natural Sciences building, but we've got another wireless services that's running in the cafeteria. If a problem arises, one person says that I can't catch up Wi-Fi from the Natural Sciences building, he would be able to redirect them to the cafeteria for Wi-Fi services because he knows where the services is and what the services is. All right, be sure to prepare them for every new service too. Remember, every second count. End users hate to wait, so wait. So give your agents the help the software they need to support the end users as efficiently as possible. All right. Like I said, I don't want to spread butter on the thing, but Service Desk Plus has really made it is a game changer. I can guarantee you this. In terms of the reliability or the feedback that the system is giving you. After all, reducing the time it takes to assist the end user directly reduces the time for other users must wait too. The ripple effect, as I was explaining that a little bit earlier. At the same time, be sure to motivate agents to solve each problem completely. Speed is important, but resolution time should never trump the end user's satisfaction. Support your end users with the best help desk software. You can decide what that would be. Thank you, Chorus. Love you too. All right. Then with the last thing that I just wanted to say, I've just got 5 other effective service principles, which I'm going to keep quickly. Everything is a request. Everything is a request. A call. If you walk into a hall and somebody starts talking with you, think about your environment. Everything is pretty much a request. If you get an SMS from somebody, that is a service request. If somebody phones you by stating that, listen, the printer needs to move from this place to that place, that's a service request. Everything is pretty much a request. Say yes to process. Now, our processes, procedures, and policies have not been defined as clearly as we wanted to. We'd like to create a library. What I'd actually eventually would like to get from this conference or from you guys actually is what's the most effective processes or procedures that you've got within your service support section. Now, if we can build a library to that and standardize to that, I think we as organizations from the universities will actually benefit from each other by keeping it standardized, and we can start to elaborate and collaborate together onto that. Booked up, busy, and billable. What I meant with that is pretty much just make sure that you're running your service support section as a business, because if you're doing it that way, you're doing it the right way. And then time. That's the most important thing that we've got. And if you've got any questions, I'm open for it now.
Thank you, Heinrich. Are there any questions that we can take?
I'm just wondering about that Support Plus that you're using. Do the line managers actually have a different view than, say, an entry technician? Will he have a more simplified view that doesn't give him, say, access to the contracts, maybe?
Yes. Currently, what I've got here with the system that I just want to switch to that quickly then. Yes, you can configure it as with permissions with any other type of software. You can say that the technicians only have access to this limited couple of modules. They can only do this, and yeah, that's pretty much what you've. Yeah, no, it's got the functionality for that.
Any other questions?
Hi, it's more an observation regarding the call logging. We also use Service Desk, and we've linked an email address to that. So the users can just send an email to our IT email address, and it gets logged as a call automatically. And then the technician can then decide what the call is about, is it a password problem or whatever, and put those criteria in. So you don't let the user have this whole screen and decide, is this a password problem? Because if you do that, the user will decide all calls are high priority, which they obviously are not. But just sending it to an email makes it easier for them to remember, so they don't have to go to a separate system to actually log a call. It's just an email that they send.
Yes, yeah, thank you for the input. Basically what I want to, what she's saying as well is you've got multiple input ports into the system. You've got an email portal where you can come in through, the self-service portal. Either the console can be logged, or you can send an email, as she said, and it will automatically create job cards for you, or not job cards, request. We use service requests. We need to get into the ITIL framework. Still a little bit buggy with that. Yeah, but thanks.
And with the SLAs as well, you can, if you're the manager of a team, if an SLA is not met after a certain time that you specified, you can actually get an email on that and say this call's SLA hasn't been met. So you can manage that without physically going to the system as well to see that as well. So yeah,
that's
it's a great
correct,
system.
yes.
Hi, I just want to find out in regard to the email, since you mentioned it. At VUT, we actually had a similar situation when in regard to our clients actually logging calls through email instead of self-service. And one of our difficulties, of which we decided to postpone it and have a look at it at a later stage, was actually instead of the help desk guys reading the email and actually prioritizing and categorizing the call for the client, for the service desk system actually to scan the email and check in our business rules actually how we define. So if an email, for example, will contain a certain a phrase or a word, just for example, email not working, so we can actually categorize the call automatically to that particular group instead of the help desk guys now going through the emails and logging calls and all those kind of things. I just want to find out from you guys, are you actually reading the emails from the help desk side and actually assigning the calls, or are you already, did you already manage to automate the process as such?
Well, yeah, first of all, you're correct. You can actually set up a couple of words, keywords in the subject title. If the subject title is run through, it will auto-assign it to a technician, which is particular for that section. Let's say network or service desk, or for the business of ITS or whatever you've got. But currently at this stage, what we are doing is we are just auto-assigning. We've got an open team. We've got a team of 5 people that's supporting the organization with about 800 staff members. And what happens is we've got a little bit of more free form within the organization, because we're all adults and we've got responsibilities, and we know we've got these responsibilities. Each one can assign or take a ticket, or not a ticket, a service request if they need to get one. They'll see that their schedule has not been fully populated. They'll grab a couple of 3. But every now and then, as the team leader, I'm just assigning the ones that doesn't get picked up by the staff members. So yeah, we don't do the automation, auto-assigning at this stage, because our service level agreements is not in place. But yes, it will. We will eventually move to that. Yes.
Thank you.
Good afternoon again. I'm sorry, I know that you said the system, you don't own the system, but you spoke about licensing.
Yes.
So I want to know if I'm able to manage licensing from there, like for example, the expiry dates and stuff like that.
That's correct, yes. So basically what you do is you take all your software licenses that you've got, you populate them into the system. The asset management module will actually check the system and tell you how many systems has been as fully licensed, how many is under licensed, or how many is over licensed, and it will actually notify you by saying that, listen, Adobe Photoshop or Adobe Acrobat's license is about to expire. It will notify you 3 weeks in advance, 2 weeks in advance, and then 3 days before the time again. So yeah.
Any other question?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. This is the whole time.
Thank you. Quite an impressive presentation. According to Gartner, World Technology Research Group, it says that like most of the service desk calls are password-related issues. So what I want to ask with regard to the system that you presented earlier on, I'm not sure if maybe you touched that because I came here a bit late, I think a few minutes later. Like, does the system have like, on the self-service portal, does it have like a part where like users can maybe like reset their password, unlock their accounts, and then how does it authenticate them to ensure that everything is self-service and without the need of them calling a service desk for unlocking and stuff?
Okay, so basically what happens is the whole system is plugged in with the Active Directory. It works in conjunction with the Active Directory. Whenever they log into the system, that login screen that I've got there, I can log in with, if it's possible, we run out of time, but the problem is that, well, not the problem, the solution to that is that people can log in with their AD credentials. There's a one password that they've got. Once they're logged into the self-service portal, they would be able to manage all their service requests and incident requests. They will also get the update from the system stating that this system is probably down. They've got announcements at the bottom. But to get to your question, the system has got an additional plugin which we have not acquired as yet. I think it's called ADM Manager. I'm not sure. Maybe the people who's got it would be able to give us some feedback on that. But ADM Manager's got a portal system where you can log in, where you still log into the same portal or the self-service portal, and you would be able to reset your password by answering the security questions, etc., etc. So that would minimize the password recalls for you for about like the 80% that you were talking about. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe just to add to that, actually this is a system that I dream of having in our institution. Unfortunately, we're still struggling with various challenges in. I thought maybe it's something that you would have implemented as well. It does have a module where you can actually plug it into an SMS gateway, and then users can enroll with their cell phone number. So if, for example, I've forgotten my password, and then maybe I want to unlock my account, then I'll just put in my email address, and then from there it sends me a one-time PIN onto my own cell phone, and then I enter that one-time PIN number, and then from there I'm able to unlock or reset whichever I want to do with my account. So it does have, I thought maybe it's something that you've already implemented.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure, but I've checked the features and the overviews of the ADM plugin, and it sounds like it similarly have the functionality what you're looking for. But it's all built on the same engine as this application. Oh. Okay.
Another question?
Right.
You said about the everything is a service request. That's
Yes.
not totally true.
Yeah, well, not a service request, the incident or...
Most
yeah.
of the stuff will be service requests, because something like my internet's not working is
An incident, yeah, sorry about it. A little bit lingo. All right. All right.
Thank you very much, Hendrik. Colleagues, that brings us to the end of the session. Lunch will be served shortly, and we look forward to seeing you back after lunch. Thank you.